YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another quick my 2 cents video. So, we always hear women who talk about relationships and men and, not settling. We hear the not settling thing all the time. Women who believe that they deserve the best and they are not going to settle for just anybody. And I agree with that part. I think you should want the best. When you are out here looking to date a man, I think you shouldn't settle. I don't think that you should. I think that you should go for the best of the best. And I think you can get what it is that you want. You can get the man that you want. But the only way you'll be able to get the man that you want is if you are what he wants. When I hear women who say, hey, I will not settle, I deserve the best, I want the best, you got to also understand that the man that you want, you got to understand that he's going to want the best. When you hear this, as women who may be watching this video, shout out to you ladies. I appreciate you watching. And for all the men who support, y'all know I love y'all and the support is real. But I want to say this for the women who are watching. Listen, don't take this in a defensive way. Take it and utilize it because it could help you. One of the ways that you can get what it is that you want from a man is to understand the man. Yeah, I know a lot of women say that they're the prize. You believe you're the prize and you're just a prize just because you are a woman and that's it. But you got to also understand that this man that you want, that you feel you deserve, this top tier man, this man that you feel you deserve, and he has all the qualities that you want, he's gonna want certain qualities from you. He's not the type of man that's just going to accept you because you believe you the prize and that you believe that because for whatever reason you got it going on and you're the best thing since sliced bread. That's how you see yourself. But do you measure up to what it is that he will require from you? See, and I think this is very important because women, we could walk around and we could be like, I'm the prize, I look good and I deserve this and that. But if he doesn't see you that way, then you're not gonna get him. He has to want you. He has to see you in the way that he deems necessary for him. He will not settle as well. He has standards as well. He thinks and believes he's a top tier man and has a lot to offer as well. But by what women are saying, he would be, because if he measures up, if he makes a certain amount of money, if he makes $200,000-$300,000 a year, if he's, has his own home and he owns his home, he has cars, he makes his money, he's responsible, he doesn't have kids all over the place, he has a good job, he's respectable, he's tall, throw that in there. If he has all of the qualities, he can check off all of the boxes that you have, put there. You must know that he's going to have certain standards. You must know that he's going to want certain things in the woman that he chooses to be with. That's all I'm saying. And I think women get offended by this because they don't believe that they qualify for that type of man. And so the way that you can possibly qualify for that man is being what it is that he wants you to be. And because we live in a modern society where so many women are independently unto themselves and they make their own decisions and they're boss chicks and they make a certain amount of money, they don't want to do that. Let me know if I'm lying. Let me know if there's no truth to that. But a lot of women especially successful women who still want successful men who are more successful than them, they have certain standards and they have certain boundaries and qualities, but somehow I don't think they realize that the man that they want will have if he's more successful than you, don't you think he's gonna have certain boundaries and certain qualities and certain standards as well? And you gotta understand that the things that he wants is what he wants and he's not gonna settle. And you also gotta understand that just because you are educated or you have a degree and you make a certain amount of money, that really is not going to matter to that man, because the things that he's looking for in the woman that he wants to marry, the woman that he wants to raise his kids, are the very things that a lot of these women don't want to do. A lot of modern women don't want to be housewives. You don't want to be at the house cooking and cleaning for a man or a family. You don't want that. Y'all are independent in your businesses and all these things. You're entrepreneurs. You don't really want to be a stay-at-home wife to that type of man, but that's what a lot of those men are looking for. Most successful men would love to have a beautiful wife who is at home raising the kids and there nurturing the family. That is what a lot of modern women do not want. They don't want to be these simple housewives at home catering to the family and the husband. They don't want that. They don't feel like that is, the best place for them. They don't look at that as a rewarding job. They look at that as slavery. They look at that as trouble and turmoil and stressful. They don't look at raising their children and being there for their kids and nurturing their kids as something special or beneficial. But when you are the type of woman who look at those things as rewarding, you love to be there to take care of your kids. You love cooking and cleaning for your family. You love teaching your kids different things. You love being at home. You love doing those things. That is a win-win for that type of man. Typically, those type of men want those type of women. If you're a beautiful woman that he's attracted to and you have those qualities that he wants, that's who they usually go for. So I think a lot of women are finding it more difficult to find men, the men that they want, to take them seriously because they don't want to accept the fact that their independent boss chick status and you make all this money and you're grinding and hustling is not typically what those type of men go for. And it's not a diss to women, I don't think. I just think it's a reality that a lot of women are not willing or ready to face. It's just that men want feminine women who have, those feminine roles. They work hard. That's the whole point of men working hard, to attain a certain level of success so that they can have the provisions to take care of a wife and kids. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of a man working hard, going out there to get to the bag, because he knows that he's going to potentially have to provide for a wife and kids. That's the whole point. But then when you have women who are working, getting to the bag, trying to get to the top of the financial ladder to make all this money, what is the purpose of a woman doing it? To be independent unto herself? A lot of these women already have kids, so of course to take care of yourself and to take care of your kids, of course. But what else? See, women make money for themselves, but then they want men to make money to take care of everyone. Because that is how it was meant to be, that the man go out and be the provider and do that. That's always been the job of the man. But now we have women doing the jobs that are meant for men, but there's even selfish in their nature. And once again, I don't think that every man has a problem with a woman working and taking care of herself. But you got to understand that because that was not the role of most women, that when women tend to do it, they take on this independent mindset because it was never the pressure put on women to be the protectors and the providers. It was never the thing for women to go out and work and be protectors and providers. That was the role of the man. So now with women coming out working and kind of switching it up and changing the dynamics, it yields a different outcome. So women don't think of working and providing for the whole family and sharing that. They're working hard and build themselves up to work for themselves. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a situation where you have successful women who make good money still looking for a man who's more successful to come in and pay all the bills, even though she makes good money herself. So it shows you it was never the intention of a woman to go out and get to the bag and make the money and do like a man, because the role of the woman, of the wife, was to be a nurturer for the kids, to be at home if possible, and nurture the family, especially if you have a man who's financially able enough and stable enough to take care of the family and pay all the bills. Then you need the wife at home to balance things out. It's not going to balance out when you have two workaholics, two people who are working hard, never home, y'all working, trying to get to the bag, both of y'all to build it up. Then something is always going to be missing. So most men who are successful, they don't need you to go out and get to the bag and work hard and do all that, because that's his job. And your role will be to be at home and nurture the family, because he has to go out and work all the time. He has to maintain the level of success for the family. He has to look out for you and those kids, because that is his job. So he has to be focused on providing, making sure that the family is good. And the woman is supposed to be at home making sure that the children are good and the household is stable. So when this man comes home, he has a soft place to land and he doesn't have to worry about the kids and his wife, because he's out trying to make sure that he's able to maintain the finances for the family that he created. But now you don't have, it's out of order. It's out of order. So you got men who are working and women who are doing it. So now this gives women the idea that, hey, I don't need a man. I'm independently, stable financially to do it for myself. And then I can have a kid. Most of them already have a kid or two or more. So they like, I don't really need you. But if I'm going to be with you, I need you to have X, Y, Z. I need you to make more than what I make. I need you to, bring this to the table. I need a man who can do all of these things. But the requirements that that man would have for you, you don't want to do them. So this is why it's difficult for women to get the men that they want, because y'all are out of order. And I'm not saying that you got to work and take care of yourself as a single person. I get it, but there's a mentality that comes with women who are successful that most successful men don't want to deal with. And even most men, and not even super successful men, it's just men in general, don't want to deal with these types of women because they know the mindset that comes with it. You're not getting a nurturing housewife who's going to be there and making sure things are good. You're getting an independent boss chick who doesn't see herself in that role. She worked too damn hard to build herself up to be at home just cooking and cleaning. She doesn't want to be home. She wants to be out on the pavement stomping, those businesses and those jobs like you. So it's like two men doing the job that the man was supposed to do, and the woman doesn't want to do the role of the woman anymore because that's beneath her. So in order for women like that to get the man that they want, you have to be able to give him what he wants. It's not just about you settling, it's about him settling. And if he doesn't want to settle, then there's no relationship, because the relationships, this is where we've heard Kevin Samuels and others talk about, hey, women control what happens with their bodies and men control who they marry. So yeah, of course, a man has to be the one who initiates that. Whether you accept or decline, he still has to be the one to initiate that and want to be with you and establish a relationship with you. So the only way for you to get the man that you want is to be able to give him what it is that he wants. If you can't give him what he wants, then he's not going to choose you. And that's just the bottom line. And I think a lot of women hate to accept that fact because they believe that they have the power and everything is in their control, but when it's really not. And so women get upset behind this, but it's the truth. It is unfortunate that if you have become an entrepreneur, independent boss chick, you don't need a man, and your standards have been, you've raised your standards and you're expecting a certain level from a man. Know that the level of a man that you're looking for is not looking for your type. And that's okay. And if you're happy with that, be happy with that. Either become what he needs you to be or be who you are and be happy with it. But there are a lot of women who are confused as to why they can't get somebody, because initially they were taught that, hey, focus on your degree. You don't need a man. Go do this and that. And then you can reach back when you're in your late 30s, 40s, and you will be able to find a man that you want, because now you are a top tier woman. See, most women thought getting these degrees is going to make them qualify for the man that they want. And that was so totally not true. The degrees don't qualify you for the type of man that you want. It's quite the opposite. Men aren't looking for women who act like men. When I say act like men, it not mean that you don't have to work, but this in your mentality. I don't need you, but I might want you, but I don't need you. And that translates in a relationship. And on top of that, you don't want to share your resources. Most successful women don't want to share their resources. They still want a man to pay it all. But if you gotta think, if that was the initial point in the first place, you would think that even if as a single person, yeah, you ain't got no support, you gotta work. Of course, I get it, y'all. But stop thinking that you don't need a man. When you tell yourself, I'm successful, I did it by myself, men could take that. You don't like a man who would take that approach anyway. If a man like, I'm successful, I did it by myself, and treat you funny, you're not gonna like that. So think about, you're doing the exact same thing that you don't like from a man. So it's the mentality that women adopt when they become successful, when they make money, like I'm this and I'm better and all this, and you look down on certain men and you don't want to share the resources. You don't want to share your resources with another successful. So if you had both of y'all are successful, what's wrong with y'all sharing the resources? Why is the expectations that he still have to come in and pay it all when both of y'all are working and y'all both are successful? He doesn't have to pay it all. The roles would change then. You can't still expect a traditional man when you are not a traditional woman. So that means y'all both come in and y'all both pay for things. Y'all both got it like that. You're not at home and you don't want to be expected to be at home to be this nurturing housewife because you are too successful for that. Well, then you can't expect him to pay for everything. You got to understand that is no longer the deal anymore. That has changed. You're not a traditional woman. He's not a traditional man. So y'all got to bring them resources together and y'all pay for things together, because it's not a traditional relationship and it's not a traditional environment. So that whole idea of men paying for everything, y'all got to let that go. Especially if you are a woman of a certain status and you make certain money, you shouldn't be expecting a man to come in and do all that, because if y'all are in a relationship together, you do it together. Listen, you can get what you want if you're willing to give the person what they want. If you're not willing to give him what you want, then you don't have the relationship. And I don't care what type of man you're looking for. If you're not willing to be what he needs you to be, then he's not going to pick you. That's just simple. And if you're fine with that, you should be fine with that, because there's nothing else you can do to change it. You know what I'm saying? And you can't shame a person into accepting something or settling, just like you don't want somebody to force you into something or, you know, make you settle. So listen, I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Chime in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this video? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. I want to hear what you have to say, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.